Hi, everybody. Okay, so today's episode of YNR was good. I think it's getting better because they're bringing back the dynamic of um, bad versus good or evil versus good versus evil. Okay, so Audra, Audra Charles. Nikki doesn't like her. I don't think Victor liked her because, or not Victor, but Jack, because Jack and Nikki had a scene today, and Nikki was proposing that Jack and Victor work together to bring down Kane. Now, why they're making Kane a bad guy, I don't really believe it because, see, I have, well, not a personal connection to him, obviously, but I feel like I know him because I watched him from the beginning, and he just never read to me as a bad guy. I don't know, because I always thought that he was a good guy because he fell in love with Lily. They got married and whatever, and so and then also he was the second marriage for her. So I was like, okay, and he didn't seem like with bad intentions or anything like that. So now when he comes back, you know, um, the fact that they're writing him as a bad guy or everybody is trying to run away from Kane is just, I don't understand that. I really don't. I mean, I understand the alias and everything, but I kind of feel bad for him because, okay, imagine you live somewhere for a while, like I don't know, say five or more years. Okay, so you assume you have a friendship base and people who like you, trust you, and vice versa, right? Then say you leave for whatever reason, and then you come back, and now all the people who said they like you and they're friends with you are now suspicious of you only because you left for an amount of time. That's stupid. It's not plausible in the world because people move, people change, and it doesn't always have to be bad. I don't know. And no, but I think it goes across the board because whenever they write somebody really bad, I always look underneath and go, okay, but why is this person bad? Is there a reason why they're bad, or are they just bad? Now, I bring up Audra because when Zolika Silver started, the character was written in as she had an affair with Kyle. And I didn't like her for that because Kyle and Summer were a young married couple and they just got thrown everything. And I don't mean just Audra. It was Audra, and then he had a baby with somebody else, got somebody else pregnant, and then had Summer raise somebody else's kid. And he just kind of explained it. Kyle explained it as, I'm sorry I made a mistake, but I really love you. But can you please raise this kid as your own? And I'm like, poor Summer. At that point, I was like, poor Summer. Okay. I have since changed because of the writing. Now, Alison Lanier, while we're on the subject of Summer, is a very good actress and was a very good actress in the role. She decided to leave and pursue other things. And so I'm hearing rumblings of a recast of the Summer character. Now, if this is happening, I'm fine with it. However, if you're going to have another character, please make her more mature than the last two. Because Hunter King was great, but she was a kid. So they wrote her as a teenager or whatever with all the angst and, you know. And I understood that because she was a kid. But now they put in Alice Lanier, and I thought she was going to be more mature. Well, she was, and then she wasn't, because she fell back on the, well, feel sorry for me because my ex-husband did all this stuff, and I feel bad for every guy who tried to be with her because she was clearly still in love with her ex-husband. And I even screamed at her because I was like, honey, you can't have it both ways. You can't have him be your ex-husband and then still be in love with him. That's not how that works. If you're still in love with him, then I don't know, you should have separated and then maybe you could have reconciled. But once you sign the divorce papers, he is no longer yours. Not that he was yours in the beginning, but you know what I'm talking about. So please make this other woman mature. Please. Okay. Okay. Next topic. Chance. Now they're finally getting around to honoring. Well, I hope they really honor Chance, the character, because he was, according to the character, in the military, did his duty, came back home, and was an honorable guy and just trying to do right by everybody. Okay? So if they don't give him a proper send off, I'm going to be mad. That's just the way it is. So I did like today because they had Jess Walton on the Zoom, which is good to see Jess Walton. But like I said, I'd like to see her in person actually. But, I'll take what I can get. Um, so she read Billy the Riot Act because the reason he called her, now get this, you understand everything I just said, right? Okay, keep that in mind. But the reason he called her was to ask her a question of, did she know that Kane was presenting as Aristotle Dumas? And did she know that? That's the only reason he called her. Now, she's his mother, and whatever. And I understand families have fallout, but come on, can you not grow up and get beyond yourself and understand that your brother just died? Like, really? Wow. Okay, just wow. And even she was saying, out of everything going on right now, your main focus is you. Oh my God. Enough said. Okay. Okay. So, so at first, um, I thought Jack was gonna side with Audra because, you know, he always, and I think this stems from Peter Bergman because he said in interviews he likes young talent and he likes to help them, you know, do well and get the jobs and all this stuff, right? So I thought he was going to back Audra, but he said, "No, I don't like what you did to my son because you did it for money. You did it for financial gain for your business, and you decided to go to money bags for the whatever. And you pushed it to the limit when you didn't have to. Okay? First of all, you had a boyfriend, or you have, because technically they haven't broken up. Unless they do one of the things where they break off camera, which I hate, by the way. Um, but in case they do that, like they're still together. Okay? So you have a fine, upstanding guy who's proud to be with you, all this stuff, and you just throw the relationship under the bus to get money from somebody you hate and who basically screwed you over before. So what's to say that won't happen again? That should be point number one. Point number two, you take all that and you say, forget it. And you're willing to trash somebody else's relationship and see somebody else hurt all for money. Because if she had been successful, then she would have caused the relationship to break up, meaning that she would have caused pain to Kyle and Claire. Now, Kyle, she has a history with, and she might want to stick it to him. But Claire, she doesn't know. Okay, they have no real history. So why do you want to mess somebody over when you don't even know them? Oh boy. Okay, so then I'm getting to the best part. Okay, so then Victor lays it out, and she tries to cover her bases and say, well, Victor, you wanted this and that, but it takes time for it to happen. And he's like, no, that's not the point. Yeah, okay, but you still didn't do what you were supposed to do. That's the point. And she's like, but we had a contract. And he's like, you didn't live up to the things of the contract. You didn't do what you said you were going to do. So it's null and void. Oh, boy. That was sweet. That was so sweet. I usually don't like the downfall of people, but in this case, she had it coming. And I told you this, guys, months ago. I said, this woman has this coming at her. So, yes, it happened. Finally, it happened. Oh, boy. Oh, and then a side note. Claire stuck to her ground with Kyle, and she said that they actually hashed it out, which thank God. And she said that Victor forgets that I'm very determined and forgets how I can be. Well, I'm going to show him. So get ready for the showdown, people. Get ready. It's coming. All right. Bye, everybody.